Howdy. I have now AAS ID, which is American Association for the Advancement of Science. Please note it may take up to 30 minutes for your AAS ID to fully propagate to AAS communities. Let's see. Why not? It turned out it's possible, so I did it. And there seems to be some interesting pages. But yeah, let's click on this one. Does it work? See change. See change with STEM equity achievement. In college, especially in colleges and universities. Okay. What else? It takes quite long to load those. But anyway. Now, science. Now let's click on that and check it out. Maybe it works. Local Science Engagement Network. Science. An insightful impact. Watch an ice sheet melt and Great Britain and Ireland emerge. Yes, doesn't seem to. Let's check this ice melting thing. Watch an ice sheet melt and Great Britain and Ireland emerge. Detailed reconstruction of glacial history could help predict sea level rise. Yeah, maybe. A major ice sheet, dark blue, spreads across northwest Europe, yellow and brown. Then withdraws. Yeah, Brian, the life of Brian. Researchers have created the most realistic reconstructions yet of how a vast ice sheet advanced across northwestern Europe starting about 31,000 years ago and then retreated into oblivion, exposing land masses that today are Great Britain and Ireland. The detailed chronology could improve forecasts of melting ice sheets in Antarctica and Greenland, which could devastate coastal regions around the world. The detailed new history of the ice sheet is extremely useful and valuable, says Frank Patton, a glaciologist at the Free University of Brussels. The geological history, he adds, provides a way to test the accuracy of modern simulations of melting ice sheets, which could help researchers predict how much and how fast oceans will rise this century. At the peak of the last major ice age, about 24,000 years ago, the Scottish Highlands were covered in ice 1 kilometer thick, and mammoths and woolly rhinoceroses roamed southern England. The immense ice sheet extended over Ireland and across the North Sea into Scandinavia over the next 15 millennia. The ice sheet broke up, retreated, and melted away. In the process, its melt water raised global sea levels by 1.8 meters. If other ice sheets melt the same amount this century, it will be more than enough to submerge much of Miami. Yeah, only Miami. The chart To chart the movements of this ancient ice sheet, geologists assembled scattered clues from the shape of the landscape, featured of which were carved by massive glaciers, as well as debris dumped by the ice sheet. Didn't I talk about this theory Leo invented about ice sheets carrying stuff somewhere else? Yeah, it's probably true to some degree, but it might be a rather small one. For example, researchers pinpointed and dated the edge of the ice sheet by recognizing the hilly terrain made of mud, gravel, and rocks left behind by the retreating ice. Yes, I still haven't found any pile of any glacier ever made. Nowhere. If you know a place where you can see the whole pile of the glacier, which is formed by it carved out some mountains, give me the coordinates. I would be very pleased. Radiocarbon dating, which is probably not that much reliable, of animal remains such as seashells found in these hills revealed when the ice sheet departed from various locations. Over the past few years, a group of about 40 scientists amassed this data to refine the history of what's known as the British Irish ice sheet. Climate researchers considered that ice. Sorry, something popped in my mind. As I was reading British Irish ice sheet. Climate researchers consider that ice sheet to be particularly relevant for understanding modern climate change because in places it resembles several modern ice sheets, including the massive ice sheet in Greenland today. Yes, that's very interesting. In a new study, the scientists created a computer model that estimated how huge amounts of ice would have deformed under pressure and flowed over the ancient land between 31,000 and 15,000 years ago. Then they adjusted these to match known facts about the ice sheet's history. The researchers assembled data from their research expeditions, including analysis of about 15 tons of rock and sediment samples, tripling the data points for where the age of the ice sheet could be established. The data, which included 3 times as many dated locations of the ice sheet's movement as past simulations, came from land-based fieldwork and submarine-captured sediment that once lay below the ice sheet. This work is important because it brings together many lines of evidence to provide a history of how British Irish ice sheet retreated and unprecedented detail, says Natalia Gomez, a glaciologist at McGill University, who was not involved. The team created maps of the ice sheet for each millennium, then animated its growth and decline. The new animation seen above was made from maps, then debuted last month in the journal Boreas. According to the new calculations, at its maximum extent about 24,000 years ago, the ice sheet was about 30% larger than previously estimated. A large surprise, says Christopher Clark, a glacial geomorphologist at the University of Sheffield who led the 5-year project. Oddly, the ice sheet started to shrink even before the climate began to warm. Moreover, its collapse was surprisingly abrupt, the researchers say. This presented a mystery until scientists realized the ice sheet's weight must have been enough to press the land down into the ocean. Ice is floating on or in water. But anyway, After the land masses began to sink, the ice sheet that had once extended offshore to the west and into the North Sea, no longer rested on the seafloor, but instead began to float. Okay. This destabilized it and gradually broke up as icebergs snapped off into the sea. You see it retreat dramatically fast, Patton says. Suddenly, it's all gone. Finally, the warming climate melted the ice that remained on land, making Great Britain and Ireland hospitable enough for human occupation. How much of those islands will remain dry land depends greatly on the stability of today's ice sheets. The possibility that warming temperatures could cause huge chunks of land based ice to slide into the ocean and raise sea levels is definitely a big concern, Patton says. This story has been updated with a comment from glaciologist Natalia Gomez. That's really amazing. I can write this dude, Eric Stockstad, whoever it is. Where's the comment? Where is the comment? Jobs. Chief Science Officer and Dean of the International Plant Science Center, New York Botanical Garden, Bronx, New York. Yeah, maybe I should apply. Or the Assistant Associate Professor, Ecosystem Services under Climate Change. More jobs. No. I don't find the comment here. So that's all new for me. I couldn't. Got a tip for Science News Department. Connect. Yeah. Huh. Very interesting. Earth, really. But there is no comment. Natalia Gomez. Or it was, but we just read the one which was not involved. Natalia Gomez. Yes. This is what the update was. This work is important because it brings together. Very interesting. Some hours ago. So that's rather new. Science. British Irish ice sheet. Let's go over to. Where should we start? Was a map. There is even a video. Player info. No. No, it works, Gina. Sorry. This was a nasty laugh. But I just want to point out it was exactly the thing what I wanted to show you. This region and this region. I know somebody who has been here some weeks ago, and probably some of you know him too. But I won't spoil anything, so I won't tell any names. Let's go over to Google Earth and check out the site. For that, we have to leave the Ikara Flinders Range National Park in Australia. I didn't spend too much time there yet. It is very, very interesting. Because not only we have very mind-blowing geology and tetrahedrons all over the place and such, but also white rivers. Sorry for bringing this up once again, but what to do? Where are we? Let's dive into that quickly. First, we have this very special feature up here. This straight line. Oh, this straight line, which goes through whole Scotland. So, before I saw the video we just saw, I was thinking that I might know what they are talking about the glaciers, what they mean, the British Irish ice sheet. I have been talking about glaciers many times, mountain water, wide rivers, and such. And I think let's just zoom in somewhere. Loch Ossian. These are peatlands. To some extent, we have karst regions there. And to some extent, we have very interesting geological features in other senses also there, like molten castles and such. This is whatever place, but he owns an excavator. If I ever have the possibility to buy one, I will. It's really fun to drive an excavator. I just want to point out that the sand or whatever that gravel stuff is rather white. For those who have read Terry Pratchett, he's talking about the white horse. This might be somewhere here. I don't know. Brinain Moor. However you spell these. These are mountains. They are probably not that high. I don't know. 1,500 meters or something. Brinain Moor, let's check it out. Maybe they tell us. Brinain Moor is the highest peak in the Mamors. The range of the mountain elevation 1,130 meters. So it's not had as high as, for example, the Alps or many, many other mountain ranges. But it's snowy. And I haven't noticed the sheep first. I noticed that first. There's water coming down from the mountain in the background. There is water coming down from the mountain once again. Still. Water going down, people going up. More water. Interesting formed mountain peaks. We have lots of gravel. Millions of erratic boulders. Here we probably see some energy exchange between the mountain and the heavens, as we do here. There's fog raising from those. A straight line in the rock might be a shockwave pattern. More clouds rising from the mountains. Yeah. But lower falls, there's waterfalls and all kinds of things. Let's check it out. Is it a molten castle or not? No. But where do I find now this, like a place where I try to emphasize or show you what I mean? Now maybe we go back here to the King's House Street. There's water all over the place. Moors. Moors? Water. This is beautiful. Not one single tree. So, every pond, every water vein which is up there are these kind of, how to put it, functioning energy circuits. So if there's a water up there somewhere in the mountains of Scotland or England or wherever you are in Ireland, and it's just not running dry, despite there hasn't been too much rainfall or whatever, it might tell us that it's fed from below. And this is rather round, wherever that is. There might be some water vein flowing down from that hill too. Maybe it is here. Who knows? Maybe. If so, this could be very easily a cryptodome. Cryptodomes, also known as well domes or source domes, which implies there is water coming out of the mountain. And I think the water which is flowing out of mountains, the amount and, let's say, quality will fluctuate. With quality, I mean the chemical composition, probably also the temperature. It might be that all of a sudden there is not just a little bit water pouring out somewhere out of a mountain, which is cold and perfectly drinkable. It could be that there is a change happening somewhere deep below the surface, and all of a sudden we have rather hot water which isn't very drinkable anymore because there might be chemical compounds in it which aren't suitable for humans, or and sediments, clay kind of things, or just clay, or rhyolite lava. And since we are talking about volcanism, which includes basically water, like for those who know about phreomagmatic eruptions, they are rather powerful because there is water involved. And in common volcanology, water is always something, yeah, it's there, but we are talking about real volcanoes which are either erupting with very hot magma, lava, or it's, gas and these kind of things. But water is always just this kind of, yeah, it's there, but it's not really doing anything, it just happens to be there. But I think the possibility that we have a certain kind of volcano called cryptodomes, as we have Mount St. Helens in America, for example, is probably the best known cryptodome in the world. We maybe have to open our minds and just think that water is very abundant on Earth, in the heavens, and within the crust, and within Earth itself. And it has been like I've made videos about this. How many times more water is probably stored in Earth crust? 100 times, 1,000 times than previously thought. So I don't think it would be too crazy to say that there are volcanoes which erupt mainly by erupting water. Maybe there might be some magma there as well, or some like sediments for sure, but not this mainstream hot lava pouring out of a mountain. Nothing like we saw on La Palma or Iceland or Hawaii or wherever you watch. Mount St. Helens, I haven't heard about that there has been red glowing magma anywhere. Probably there has, I don't know. If so, it wouldn't surprise me if there is, like, after some time, after an initial eruption start, or whatever you want to call it, if it's just continuing, there might be red stuff coming out of the mountain as well. It's not impossible. But first, the water goes. And it goes either in steam, as water, or as sediments which are soaked with water. Mudslides, lahars, and such things. So, we have seen the video. And I think if the climate, for example, if we would switch off the Gulf Stream, the AMOC, the Northern Atlantic Oscillation, or however you want to call it, if you switch it off, as it seems to do right now. I was supposed to make a video about weather, but I got excited since I got an AAAS ID now. Anyway, all these water bodies here, which are not sea, I mean inland water bodies, and there are thousands of them. Ben More, Loch Katrine, Loch Arclet, Pyramid. We have a pyramid. All right. The pyramid. And there's an island in the sea, in the lake. I think it's a lake. There's an island in the lake. How? Maybe it is just a crater made by electrical discharge events. That's why there's an island in the sea, in the lake. Loch, whatever. Lomond. So it is a lake and not sea. Award for architecture. And these might be stylized dragons. There's just no head or anything else, but the form remained. A twisting filament. Water pumping operation. There might be some electricity be harvested from the mountains, from the water. If there wouldn't be, like I said, that every well, spring, or source, or however you want to call it, a place where water pours out of a mountain. It flows down, it goes into a river, and it goes to the sea, and blah, blah, blah. It is an energy circuit. It bears so much energy no one can imagine. And a very, very little part of it gets harvested through hydroelectrical constructions and such. But back in the days, when it was much colder, also there, every one of these lakes or wells, or however you want to put it, water outlets of the mountains, created a glacier, because they are fed from below. Most people think we have a mountain and we have a glacier which is just flowing downhill, and then, but we have also glaciers. For example, continental glaciers. There is land, and a glacier, which is growing to all sides at the same time. No slope needed in order for a glacier to grow. So the water comes from below. Grimsbotn, Vatnajökull National Park, Europe's biggest glacier, which probably sits on top of Europe's biggest volcano or volcanic system. They just grew together. And since Iceland is so much more north than England, Scotland, British Islands, wherever they are, where are they? Here somewhere, yes. If you look at this landscape here to these rocks, they are not too different from Iceland after all. If we have volcanoes here under this glacier, we might have a similar kind of volcanoes also here in Scotland. But since the climate isn't so cold that they could form glaciers, they just form lakes and streams. It doesn't mean that they are dead. They aren't dead. Otherwise, we wouldn't have those streams and lakes. Especially streams. Because there's just water flowing out all the time. Rainy or not. As we do in the Alps and many other places. Cryptodomes. Very interesting. But this turned out to be a very long video, despite I didn't know what I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to show you that I have now this AAAS ID. So I can probably contact even more people because it's much easier. And maybe they even think that I'm a scientist. I don't know. Because I have this ID. I'm a little bit surprised that you can get this ID despite not having any sort of education. It's interesting. Let's see what I can do with it. Maybe I get kicked out after asking some stuff. But yeah, let me end with this. We are going into Sweden, Denmark, in between. Hornfiskron. And it is just like amazing. And this might be just growing and growing and growing. Yet another cryptodome. There's a spider on my phone. Still, maybe the chicken eats it. Eat it. No. Anyway, I leave it here. Thanks. Bye.